Tommy Williams here with me from Schools Golf. So just give me an outline of what exactly Schools Golf is then.
So I've been a sports teacher for 20 years. I then became a director of sport, and now I'm assistant head of a lovely school in rural Staffordshire, very close to the new JCB course. And I'm a very bad but enthusiastic golfer, and the kids at school know this. And when we came back after COVID in 2020, a large number of our children who normally would be playing rugby or hockey or cricket or tennis or these other things, had played a lot of golf because obviously it's the most COVID-friendly sport there is. And they wanted for us to have a golf team. And we, like lots of schools, we play lots and lots of fixtures and have lots and lots of teams. But of all the things that we do, golf is what I have found to be the least accessible. So with that as a starting point, all we're trying to do is create more opportunities for schools who have rugby teams, hockey teams, tennis teams, to have a golf team, to play on the best possible courses, and have a positive experience of playing the sport we all love.
Any particular reason why you think that golf hasn't had as much coverage in schools as perhaps other sports?
Yeah, I don't think it. Yes, I do. I don't think it's any fault of the sport of golf. I just think it's a structural thing. I think that it takes a long time. It's a relatively niche sport, and most sport in schools, especially the independent sector, is played at weekends when the members are playing. So it's hard to get the tee times. Sport that's played in the winter when the kids are in school, therefore there's limited amounts of daylight. So I don't think it's anybody's fault or any kind of decision. I just think it's a very difficult thing to schedule, given you need a golf course and therefore you need people to travel to a certain location.
So what have you done then? So what is coming up?
So what we've done is we had 5. So that was the idea. That was the genesis of where we were about this time last year. So what we decided to do, my wife and I, who's also a sports teacher, we decided to have 5 test events to see if this was going to work. So I'm quite lucky that, like in all things in life, if you know some people who know people, put you in touch with people. We had 5 test events. So we went to Berkhamsted, Hollingwell, Trentham, Blackwell and Kedleston. We had different formats. We worked out the best thing, what the schools wanted, how they wanted to book it. That very, very quickly became really popular. So we've now launched our 2022 season. We launch our first event is next month, on the 21st of February at Hollingwell. And then we move around the country playing on the best courses, because one of the things we found is if heads and teachers are going to let children out of lessons to play golf, they have to be on the best possible location. So we have Royal Porthcawl, Tandridge, Little Aston, Sandyway, these kinds of venues leading up to a national final on both courses at Woodhall Spa.
So I was going to mention that the courses there. I mean, you've got some top quality golf courses there, but not then all across the country as well. It's not just in one particular area of the country. You've got it nationwide, haven't you?
Absolutely. Well, that's the plan. I mean, what I found is that every profile of school, whether it's state or independent, whether it's boarding, wherever they are, every school has kids within it who play golf. And some schools obviously have more, and some schools have less. They might have 1, they might have 25. But the way that school sport works is that there's a national network and there are national competitions in equestrian, in climbing, in rugby, in football, in hockey. So we've just tried to tap into that. And I've got to say that the response we've had has been overwhelming. And it seems that this has really touched a nerve with sports teachers across the country.
And what kind of standard of player are you looking for here? Are you looking for people who've just started, or are you looking for those ones at the top end?
Well, basically all of them. Here's the point. Okay. Golf is a unique sport where, anybody, as long as they can get round. So, I was somewhat flippant with my answer there. But what I mean is that there was a maximum handicap of 26. But we've had guys who play off 24. We've also had the Ellesmere College, which are a successful golf program. They've got twins who both play off plus 2.7 who played in our event at Blackwell. So the whole point of this is to be as inclusive as possible, and ability, as long as you can get round, you can play off the red tees, you can play off the white tees, you can play off the yellow tees, because that's the World Handicap System, and Golf Genius, the software we use, means that you can tell me which tee you want to play off. So the key thing is, the only entry requirements you've got to have is that you're in full-time education up to the end of 18, as well as the fact you've got an active handicap of 26 or less, with food afterwards.
You use the phrase "guys" there. Presumably, it is for boys and girls.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, it was years of working in a boys' school when I first started teaching. Apology. Yeah, we've had as many girls as we've had boys. We had a girl won our event, one of our events already. 100%. And that's one of the reasons that schools really like golf, because it's open to all ages, all abilities. There are concerns across junior sport about concussion, within football, within rugby, within hockey. It gets children outside, both boys and girls. And the beauty of it is that you can play, if you're a 13-year-old and you're a really good player, you can play with a 17-year-old and compete shot for shot.
You mentioned right at the start as well, which I think is an important point, is that golf is a sport which, in the area that we're in at the moment, over the last 18 months or so, COVID isn't quite so much of an issue in golf as it is in other sports. So it's one of the few sports whereby it's as close to safe as you're going to get, isn't it?
100%. And what I think it's done is, as we return to some element of normality, there are a large number of kids who, in my humble opinion, working with children on a day-to-day basis, could potentially be lost to the sport, because I think that there's been a real spike of kids who have played golf, and then there's a danger that they then got into it over the last 18 months, and then they drift off back to what they've done with their friends. But what we're trying to do is golf is an individual sport, but the dream for us is to make it much more of a team, American college style system. So one of the gaps that we've seen in the market for golf is the opportunity to play in a team, arrive, like you see on the TV from America, the guys and girls have all got the same, they've got their team polo shirt on, that there's some element of school pride. And that's the doors that COVID has opened for us.
So how does someone get involved? So two forms here. How does a child get involved, and how does a school get involved?
Okay, so there's obviously two different routes in. The main one is through your school, and every school that takes part in schools golf, they have to be affiliated, because that means that that's the way that the communication goes. And what we've tried to do is treat schools golf and treat it like other sports, like rugby and football and cricket and equestrian and these kinds of goes, through the school. So if the people listening to this are a teacher, it's really simple. All you have to do is complete the affiliation form on our website. It takes a minute to fill in. That will generate an email, and then we will get in touch with you. If it's a player or a parent, they can contact me again through the contact us on our website. And if they were able to contact and put us in touch with their school, or we can contact them and say, look, this young player would like to play in one of our events. Would you like to affiliate? We can send them the form. They can fill it in. We can go from there. And then either the school can enter the players for the events, or a player can, once their school's affiliated, they can enter directly through the portal for each event, which can be found on schoolsgolf.co.uk.
And is it an individual? You mentioned individual and team. So is it individual and team events? Yes.
So this is the thing that we did through the test events to try and work the best way to do this. So unlike a lot of the current or the only other school competitions at the moment, this is all of handicap. So it's played off Stableford, which is adjusted for the course and the tees from which you're playing. If a school has, so they're individual prizes, and there's a gross prize as well for the better players. And then if a school has 3 or more players playing in a competition, which most of our events they have, then Golf Genius will create a schools leaderboard taking the best 3 Stableford scores once everything's completed. That will then, over the course of the year, create a national schools leaderboard to see, obviously, who has competed at each event over the course of the year.
The first event, as you mentioned, there is at Hollingwell on the 21st
Yes.
of February. Then, so what kind of field size have you got for that event? When does it start? How's that work?
Okay, so we are. We've got a number of schools who are affiliated. So we've got 25 schools. So I'm just waiting for their players to come in. So we're looking at, as we've had our other events, 20 to 25 players.
Right.
Now, I mean, every time obviously I have a fantastic job working here. So this is very much a hobby for my wife and I. But every time my wife and I open our email, there's another school that have got in touch about how do we contact you, how do we enter. So yeah, we're expecting 25 to 30 players to play in that event, because that's the level of field that we've had. But over time, we're hoping that increases. Now, given the quality of courses that we're playing on, we have limits, because tee times are hard to get at places like Hollingwell, Porthcawl, Little Aston, these kinds of places that everybody wants to play there. So there is a limit to how many players that we can get on. So normally we'll book with the maximum that we can take is about 40.
And it all goes towards, like you say, qualifying for the national final, which is in October 17th, 18th, and that's all Woodhall Spa. So for people who aren't aware, Woodhall Spa is the home of England golf. So that's a pretty special venue to go and play your final at.
Yes, I mean, I think that one of the things we try to do is make it aspirational. We've tried to make it so that kids who want to play on the best courses and represent their school have the opportunity to do that. And that one of the things that I found with golf as a relatively late comer to the sport is that if you play off single figures as a junior, there's tons for you. You get to play on the best courses, you get to play in the best places. But if you're someone who plays in the teens or even the early 20s as a handicap, if you want to get better, you want to play on better courses, that's how you improve. Therefore, one of the things we're trying to do is give every child, as long as, like I said, they can get round and they can play at a reasonable pace of play, the opportunity to play where the best players in the world have played when they played in the past.
So give all the contact details, then the website address and details that people need.
Okay, so it's very simple. It's www.schoolsgolf.co.uk. Everything that you need is on there. My email is tommy@schoolsgolf.co.uk. When you open the website, there's a contact us box. So if you just want to fill that in, my wife and I will be in touch straight away. The key thing for us is that this is not a business, as in like both of us are teachers. We're not giving up teaching. This is something that we're running alongside. It's incredibly exciting for us in terms of just seeing kids who haven't quite had that opportunity to play as much as they would like to in the past, have that opportunity to go to places. And other things, what we found is we've had kids who have gone from, we had one person got in touch from us who live in Sussex, who came to the first event at Kedleston because they were so desperate to play. And I think that showed us that if guys and girls are willing to travel from, we had one girl came from the South Coast who came all the way to Trentham, which is in Stoke. So like if people are willing to travel, then we must be doing something right in terms of raising provision or improving provision and raising opportunity to play.